fucking awesome.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of the journey of your life. So, where are we in our journey? Well, we are still in the phase of ordeal, and I think the previous 3 or 4 videos were all about this phase in the journey because I believe it's the most important phase of the journey. It's also the most painful phase of the journey because this is the phase of the journey where vulnerability comes in play, and I did a whole video about that a few weeks ago about vulnerability. And this is also the phase of the journey where you're going to experience a lot of fear. And well, it's a very dark phase of the journey, so you will fail, you will fall, your heart will be broken, you're going to be filled with regret, and it's basically a nightmare that comes true. So and I think 3 or 4 videos ago I shared my personal story about what happened to me in this dark phase of the journey. It basically was in the end of 2018, early 2019, I guess. We've been traveling for over a year, and at that time we were living in Spain. We had a beautiful house there on the beach, you know, ocean view. It was amazing, and it was the darkest phase of my life, actually, because at that time I was filled with regret. I regretted everything that I had done in my life so far. I regret, you know, selling my company, selling the house. I even regretted going traveling. I regretted being with my wife. And it was darkness, you know. I was in a very dark place. I was all alone. I did nothing but take long walks on the beach by myself. And, you know, and I was contemplating, you know, not killing myself, but I felt like if this is it, then, you know, there's nothing left to live for. And the thing is, if you're in a dark space, you know, it's very difficult to see a spark of light. But, you know, after a few weeks, I actually found in that darkness a spark of light. And that spark of light basically kicked me in the ass. He said, listen, Marcel, if you want to be the storyteller, here's a story to tell, you know. It's not the happy stories we see on social media, but share the story about how you feel right now, you know, in this dark place, because, you know, you're not the only one, so perhaps there's some other people who want to hear that story as well. And of course, you know, if you're in such a dark place, it's at least for me, it's not easy to pick yourself up, you know, and try to make that turn when you're on that deep end of low. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean, right? So so the spark of light basically told me, write a story and share that on social media. And that's what I did. I started writing a story, and well, I shared it with my wife. I let her read it, and she said, well, if you're going to post this, everybody thinks you want to commit suicide. And, you know, she wasn't that far from the truth, but, you know, so I rewrote it. I took off the sharp edges, and basically I want to share that story with you that I wrote back then. So, so here it goes. I called it A Journey into the Heart of Darkness. It's not always easy to see the light at the end of a dark tunnel. I've been traveling for almost a year now, and I find myself in a dark place where setbacks seems to be piling up and where the consequences of my choices from the past are becoming visible. It has become clear that my life will never be the same again, and I can't go back to the way it was. It feels like something inside of me is about to die and make room for something entirely new. Fear, doubt, and insecurity are more present in daily life now, and it forces me to open up and let vulnerability and truth in. Not the truth how I want it to be, but the truth how it really is. The truth that surpasses shame and the opinions of other people. There were times I wasn't completely honest with myself and held back from telling the truth, afraid of what others might think, or at least what I thought others might think. So here I find myself on the dark path of my journey, surrounded with a wheelbarrow of problems disguised as challenges and obstacles. Many thoughts have passed my mind about the past, mostly filled with regret and sadness. And when I look at the future, I can't help feeling the hot breath of a dragon in my neck. The truth is that I can't change the past, and I don't have any idea how my future will look. But what I do have is the here and now. An ocean view apartment with only a 2-minute walk to the beach, where I take long walks every day in the bright blue sky where the sun is shining. Hardly any people around, and the absence of well-meant advice from family and friends or other distractions. Plenty of time to think about my life. I guess there are worse places I can be. I also realize that the only thing that will create a better tomorrow is what I do in the here and now. The seeds I plant today will determine the flowers or weeds for the future. It's so much easier to feel bad about the situation and contemplate on how I got here, but that will not improve my situation or change my future. Besides, who cares how I got there? There's nothing more I can do about it. It's better to focus on making it better. So I say goodbye to being the victim, feeling sorry for myself, and instead I cowboy the fuck up and get back on my horse and take the path less traveled into a new chapter of my journey called life. Somehow the bad things always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to. So yeah, that was how I was feeling. So not in a happy space actually, but when I wrote that story and I posted it online, my life started to change. Things started to change. And I remember there were basically two kinds of people who responded to my post. One group was like, I feel you, I'm there as well, or I've been there. And another group of people was, let me help you. And there was a lot of coaches, and they said, listen, I really want to help you, and I see in the dark place you are, and I want to do that for free. All you have to do is come back to Holland and I will help you. And so for me at that time, there was nothing left to do basically but go back home. This was the end of the journey for me. That was a difficult choice for me to make, because I didn't plan to go back to Holland. For me it was like, I'm done. I'm done in Holland. But I had to go back, and feeling like shit basically. So I had to come back. I felt lost still. And even, admitting that I had to go back, that made me even feel like a bigger loser. So even though there was some light was shining through the cracks, I was still in a place of darkness. But we'll save the rest for that story for the next video. All right. So thanks again for watching. Again, not a happy video. Damn, it's time to make a happy video again, I guess. Thanks again for watching. And if you're in the same spot, if you're in that place right now, in that place of darkness, that's where you will find the light. That's where you'll find the light. In sterquilinum invenitur. In darkness and filth it will be found. So anyways, thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. Much love. Bye bye.